That's ChaseWins.com coming to you for Friday, February the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody, if you guys celebrate that. Make sure you do something special for your significant other. Let's get into a recap and what we did for yesterday. Get on a free play for Friday. It's getting a little bit late in the afternoon, but plays are already done and up. So I went ahead and got that taken care of before I decided to record this, mainly because I was already looking into a potential game of the week, game of the month. It may actually rank higher than that, but I don't know that I will label it that. But right now, it really depends on the information that's sent to me this afternoon. It's involving, I'm not even going to say what sport it's in. It's just a game for Saturday. So we'll see. Obviously, the teams are not playing on Friday. So there's some travel things. I mean, luckily, because of the teams involved, or at least one of the teams involved, I've been lucky and fortunate enough over the years to make a pretty good relationship with somebody that's not within the organization, but somebody that follows the organization very, very closely and does a lot of beat writing and things like that. So obviously they're not actually tied to the organization, but obviously this time of the year, you know, this is pretty much all they do. They do some stuff involving some other teams here and there, but the team that is in question here, you know, that's their full-time job. They do get some locker room access from time to time. They're at every home game, and they're actually at probably 40% of away games. So being that there is no game today or anything like that involving these teams, there were some questions about whether or not they would be doing a full-blown practice today or what would entail. So that's the information that I'm waiting on. And if everything goes the way that I want it to and everything sets up with the opposing team coming in and all that, then I'm hoping to get the information that I want by, tonight. I mean, early tonight. I would say 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, something like that. And then that way I can go ahead and make my final decision. I'll do a write-up and I'll throw it on the site and we'll be good to go. Obviously, all of my clients, every member at the site, will get an email letting everyone know. And then, the second that it's posted, if we have the game, it will be posted, on social media, stuff like that, so everybody can purchase it and you'll be told what time you have till purchase this. Now, the game that I'm looking at is an afternoon game tomorrow. I'm not going to say what time, but being that Saturdays are as busy as they are and how many games are on, I mean, with just so many basketball games on, there's multiple sports on. Excuse me. It'll probably be something where if we have it, you have to purchase it by like noon, 1 o'clock, something like that. That way we don't have anybody buying it and going down to the last few minutes trying to, wager it, and then whatever, book they use, or if they're standing in line at the ticket counter, they actually do not get the wager in. So we always try to prevent that. So coming off of a winning Wednesday, even though it wasn't the greatest of days, profit, still profit. We get into Thursday, and we kind of hit a milestone on Thursday. Let's start with, we kind of split out. I mean, if you look at just the numbers, it wasn't the greatest day, but it was still profitable because of obviously the way the system's set up. So if we start in NCAA basketball, we actually went 2-2. Stetson on the money line minus 115 was an easy winner. Long Island minus 8.5, that was an easy winner. Some people actually should have got it at 7.5 if you played it within about, if you just waited 30 minutes after I posted it, it dropped a full point. Radford minus 11, we lost that by a point. And then New Mexico State, they laid an egg at minus 10. So 2-2 there. You would have dropped, some juice on those. So if you rank that, 1 unit per play, you would have dropped 0.2 of a unit there. We get into the NHL where we turned some nice profit. We went 3-3. We had a big day. And what was crazy about this is really the only game where it was just an outright loss, we were on the wrong side of it, was the Islanders and the Predators. I took the Islanders as an underdog. Statistically, it was more than the right pick, and we were taking them plus 125. Some people were getting them a little bit higher. And oh my God, did they come out, and the Predators won 5-0, I believe. Now, granted, that score looks a lot worse than the game was. I mean, they would have most certainly given up 3 goals because they gave up, three true goals. But then there were two where it was almost like, and don't take this literally when I say it, but it was almost like, okay, Nashville comes down, scores, they go down, they're trying to get set, and they come back, and the goalie's like, hold on, give me a second to get ready. And then, of course, it's just like he's not prepared and not going to be prepared. So there were 2 goals that were just beyond preventable, and it was just careless on the part of New York. I don't know if they came in and they were like, riding high after their last win. And because Nashville has been the most disappointing team in the NHL this year as far as a team coming in, not only expecting to win, but expecting to win and, make a deep playoff run with the talent they have, with a lot of the things that they're doing at the lower levels in the, in the minor league systems. Their development's great. Their amateur stuff or their minor league stuff is fantastic. They're, bringing a lot of people through the system. So, Nashville over the past 3 or 4 seasons has been, if any team in the NHL has been a team where their player development and, at the rookie level has been top notch, they've been the best, because Nashville has had some pretty key injuries over the past few years, and it seems like every time somebody goes down, they have a group of guys that they can bring in, and obviously they're not up to the standard of what a veteran NHL starter is, but I mean, the guys are going out there filling a position and they're doing well and they're still winning. This year, not so much. I mean, we've made a ton of money fading Nashville, especially in the beginning of the season when everybody and their brother was on Nashville night in and night out. We kept fading them for big plus money. We did it again last night and it bit us. So we'll eat that loss. Now, Arizona was one of those where it's like, man, I'd play that game over again without question. The chips didn't fall our way. Now, then we had the Columbus Blue Jackets, another underdog play, plus 105. That one, there's no excuse. They should have lost that. Obviously, going into overtime hurt them. And I think that they were way too focused on what they were doing offensively when overtime is, truth be told, you look at the success of teams that go into overtime and win in that overtime period to avoid a shootout. Defense is where you win it. It's you help protect the goalie. You set it up to where they're going to have to take shots from the left wing or the right wing and have to be so far back to not give them an advantage getting shots on goal. And then when you do that, your players are set up, right there before you hit neutral ice, and all you have to do is get the puck to bounce the right way, one good pass, and then it's off to the races for a one-on-one matchup with the goalie. So Columbus didn't do that. They were way too focused offensively, and the problem is you lose a face-off, your offense doesn't mean anything. Now you're trying to set up on defense, which you should have already been concerned with, and there you go. You 3 passes in a row, the goalie's trying to do too much, and they give up one and lose it in overtime. Another game that I'd play over again without question. So we were on some hefty underdogs yesterday, and just by a couple of puck bouncing the wrong way, we dropped a couple. The one game that we just lost from start to finish was the Islanders. But again, if I'm gonna lose a game, that's the way I want to lose it. I don't want to lose it where we're winning for 59 minutes, and then in that last minute you lose it. So, but then we had 3 other games. We had the New Jersey Devils in regulation, which was the free play that I gave out yesterday on the live show. Easy win there. Tampa Bay Lightning on the puck line at plus 120, winner there. And then our top play of the day was Tampa Bay in regulation at minus 130. So a 3-3 day, but if you play the way the system's set up, where I say, you flat bet every premium, whatever you would consider 1 unit, and then all top plays, you would jump up to 3 units. You'd have gone 3-3. You calculate juice in there. Obviously, some losses were plus money plays, and you would have actually picked up right at 1.9, just under 2 units right there. So just about a tenth of a unit off from being an even 2 units if you rate it by units. So dropping 0.2 of a unit there brings us back down to 1.7. And then we get into the NBA, coming off of a 2-0 sweep day in the NBA on Wednesday with the Mavericks minus 8.5 and the Mavericks over 225, both winners. Well, only game we had was the Boston Celtics, money line minus 125. I won't say it was an easy win. Boston played well. They got a little bit too comfortable thinking they could always come back. Luckily, they did. Took it into overtime and eventually took care of business by plenty of points. But we had them on the money line minus 125, so an easy 1-0 day there. And so that puts us in total at 6-5 on a big Thursday card. But we would have picked up right at 2.7. 2.7 units, again, if you rate it by units. But that's just what you would call your flat wager on premiums and stepping up. Now, obviously, on a game of the week, you step up another 2. A game of the month, you step up another 2. And then on a game of the year, you actually step up 3. That's the way that I've designed the system, and I've had it since day one. So if we have a game of the month tomorrow, that's a big step out. If you're a $100 a game bettor, to win $100, this is when you're going to want to bet to win $500. If you're a $1,000 a game bettor like myself, this is a 5-dime game. So I have people that bet a lot more than that, where this will end up being about a 30-dime game for them. So if we have it. So coming off of another winning day, another profitable day. So a great week overall. It certainly isn't, as far as profit dollars, it's not as good as last week yet, but we have 2 days left. This Saturday is probably, as far as matchups, my favorite one we've had in the past 3 or 4 weeks. The last 14 days have been so telling in college basketball with matchups. You kind of getting to see the inner workings of things that you've been trying to figure out. Are teams for real? How deep can they go? Are they starting to get gassed over? I'm telling you right now, don't take anything for granted yesterday, because the top 15 in college basketball, there's going to be a lot going on, and that top 15 is going to have some serious movement going into next week. After, I think there's going to be some upsets tomorrow. I think there's going to be some teams that people think are going to be upset, and they're going to blow them out and solidify their place as a top team to round out the season. So it's going to be a big day. There's going to be a great slate of NHL that I'm already digging into. And then, to be honest with you, Sunday's card I actually really like. So it's going to be a great weekend. We're going to hammer it out, and the goal is over the next 2 days to not only win but to exceed the profit from the week before. And we keep having great week after great week. So either way, a winning week's all that matters, but we want to go out there and have 2 days to remember to round out this week before we go into next week. One big announcement, Outfielders Anonymous, obviously, my MLB podcast. We posted episode 6 earlier in the week. I will drop a link to that. Follow me on Twitter. There's stuff up there about it. But episode 7 is now recorded. I refrained from posting some of my rants about the Astros yesterday on Twitter just because I wanted to soak up as much information as I could about the bullshit that was just spewing out of their mouths. So we decided to keep it for the podcast. So there will be another episode hopefully tonight if we get everything finished. If not, it will be over the weekend. And the other 2 podcasts that we've been working on, it is official. One of them is already locked down. Paperwork was signed this morning, so we will have that within the next 14 days. Episode 1 will be launched. We're just kind of trying to figure out when we want to launch it, what the first things are going to be. It will be dedicated to sports and sports betting. It will be a podcast that gets released once to twice a week, depending on what sports we're going over. But it will be a podcast that you can listen to that will give you information for things and games each day for that week. So it's, be very beneficial. And then the other one that we've locked down, we haven't made the final decision as to whether or not it's going to be another sports betting podcast, but it's going to be a daily one, probably 15 to 20 minutes long each day. Or we are going to go ahead and turn it over to someone else that I'm looking to do a deal with that will do another sport. And, of course, it will be a seasonal podcast, but there'll be interviews and everything like that. So that's a decision that me and my partner are going to have to make a final decision on here in the next few days. So let's get on a free play. If you want to get on tonight's action, $50 gets you 3 days. $99 gets you a week. and then $2.99 gets you a month. And then keep on the lookout. If we have the game of the month, it will be $99, but it will come with a 7-day all-play guarantee. Premium top play, everything, no questions asked if it were to drop. So free play for today, we're going to go to college basketball. You got Monmouth and Canisius. Here's the thing. I really thought that Monmouth was going to come out favored or maybe a pick 'em, because based on records and everything else, we know the public would start taking Monmouth, and it would start being completely lopsided if they would have come out as the favorite. But it doesn't matter the record. Statistically, these are about even teams. Offensively, Canisius has the edge, and then defensively, they're about even except defensive rebounding. Monmouth is a terrible offensive rebounding team. That's where, Canisius shines on the defensive end. So I think that defensively, the edge is going to the home team there. And then offensively, I really do think that the home team has a clear edge tonight. You can look at the record all you want and say, well, look at the win-loss. Why haven't they won games? There's 4 games out there right now that, one bounce of the ball differently, all of those would be wins. And, some of those teams were, very good teams within that conference. You have one team that's sitting at the top, one team that's sitting at the bottom, and we're talking less than five baskets throughout this season. You'd have them sitting side by side. This conference is so close and so evenly set that anything still can happen. And I truly believe that when we have a fairly even matchup like this, I think that the right team is favored, but I think they hold a small defensive edge and a clear offensive edge, and you're going to have the crowd behind them. They have a chip on their shoulder for the games that they've lost. They should have, kind of like the North Carolina syndrome, with 5 games now that, right there at the very end that they should have won, and it'd be a completely different season for them. So right now you can lay a point, and you can lay your $1.10, but guys, this is what you have to look at. Right now, William Hill's got it at 105. That's what I just bet it at for the money line, minus 105. And most of the times on the money line, you're going to lay more to not have to lay points. Why would you lay a point and risk pushing, or losing, whatever, but you're going to lay your $1.10? If you're going to bet the team anyway, lay the $1.05. That's where the value is. I don't care which one you do, but the free play is Canisius minus 105 on the money line to win outright. I like them. I think that they pull. It's going to be considered an upset tonight if they win, being that they are the lower tier team per what the rankings say within the conference. And whether they're favored or not, this will be considered like a home upset. For them to take down a team that's considered superior to them, I don't think it will be. I think these are 2 pretty evenly teams, and I think the better of the 2 when it comes to home team is going to win tonight. So that is your free play. Good luck. Stand by. Hopefully we'll have a big top play for you tomorrow. Jump on a package if you're not on it. I can assure you you will not be disappointed. And obviously, if there comes with a profit guarantee, if you do not profit, you get extended. No questions asked. The system does it automatically. You just have to follow the system and follow the games. Games are already up. Go get them. And I'll be in front of my computer to answer emails until probably about 5:30. So make sure that you get on a package, and let's go have a huge day. Thanks, guys.